Hello, and welcome back to Coin Lady channel. Let's begin with Ripple's latest update. Many of the world's central banks are now discussing when CBDCs will be launched and extensively used, rather than if they will be produced. James Wallace, meet the audience. At the Coin Desk, he's raving about the boundless potential of CBDCs. James Wallace, from cowboy crypto to youngster prodigy, made his LinkedIn profile public before his followers on Twitter. James Wallace, who has worked at IBM for almost 17 years, was the company's vice president of blockchain from 2015 until 2018, vice president of international payments from 2008 to 2017. Before either of these two, he worked in a variety of other capacities. And now you have access to his extensive background information. This is a guy that is very aware of the realm of money payments and stuff like that. He has extensive experience in the blockchain industry. And now he's here to fill us in on CBD, showing us how the policy considerations justified the introduction of CBC central bank digital currencies with practically infinite potential. However, practicality is the deciding factor for widespread use. Furthermore, some further information is available below. Given the interdependencies between policy and technology, as well as the potential market impacts of a CDC's design that prioritizes resilience over security over cost, developing a CDC is a challenging endeavor. To this reason, user privacy should be taken into account at every stage of the development process for a CBC, which includes but is not limited to design, technology, policy, and usability. In the first place, one of the most important things is technology. They need a reliable, protected system that can authenticate users on a large scale and even provide them with some level of support. This is where the private XRP ledger technology comes into place. That's the basic framework on which everything else rests. Bear in mind that even if the private XRP ledger is used, there is still just one XRP. So XRP might very easily be deployed as a bridge currency between those CBDCs that are being established or designed. The application of Ripple's technology is not limited to the private XRP ledger. R3 XRP might still potentially connect that CBDC to other ones, if they claim that one has been tapped in for a certain period of time. More importantly, a CBC should be able to interoperate across multiple technical infrastructures so that countries can reap the benefits of seamless cross-border transactions even if they don't all choose the same infrastructure. The second is related to administration. These boundaries and standards, set by governments and central banks, form the bedrock of the system. One could make the case that this is currently receiving a lot of attention due to the regulatory frameworks on which we have been concentrating so intently. But the nicest part about this is that we actually see here that this is likely the most time-consuming topic for examination, given the individual priorities and regulatory frameworks of each country and its own central bank. The final significant time-consuming step beyond that is regulatory, particularly with regards to even crypto, for example. I think this will promote blockchain crypto technology to the globe. But we also have skepticism as we look at execution, even in the case of crypto, which, by the way, was Sydney CES. We are all aware of CBDCs and share the public's worry about them. Collaboration, therefore, between commercial banks, retailers, and central banks is essential. Sorry to ensure a smooth transition and effective integration and CBDCs into the broader financial ecosystem. Now, the big thing here is, we do see here that the payments industry will need to adapt to the changing landscape, such as adjusting operations infrastructures to accommodate CBDCs. Most BDC projects may fall short of their full potential if they lack seamless cross-border functioning. This is where the commercial and state sectors come into play as we investigate the landscape of international financial transactions. Again, if we want this to become a reality, we must protect individual privacy, right? Concerns about privacy are paramount, and so is the need to restrict the power that central banks have over CBDCs. And ensure that they are programmable so that you may set limits on your money and other such things. However, the third pillar of design for a well-functioning CBDC is usability, and even with this technology and the policy pillars in place, The key to a sustained real-world tip-to-see application ultimately rests upon usability. Here we examine the phenomenon of its widespread acceptance. In this section, topics like as privacy, cross-border payment use cases encouraging financial inclusion, accessibility, security, and so on are discussed, as is the CDC's overall strategy. I could see this being good if it is executed correctly, and we begin to see the commercial sector and the public sector genuinely working together. While I do have some reservations about CDC's programmability, I don't think its lack of privacy is too much of a cause for alarm. After all, our financial transactions can be easily traceable thanks to services like PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, and others. Even paper money issued by banks outside the Strip can be traced. Those who are unfamiliar with fiat currency should educate themselves on the topic. But I do want to go over here to CBDC debates regarding Ripple, because for those that are not aware, in my opinion, Ripple is 100% part of this new future of finance that is essentially being developed. 93% of central banks are already on board. Tokenizer reports that the National Bank of Georgia has chosen Ripple as a key partner for the digital lorry pilot project, marking the addition of another CBDC partner for XRP. Since the SEC litigation was only partially resolved, Ripple has added the National Bank of Georgia to the list of central banks that are using its CBC platform, along with those in Hong Kong, Colombia, Palau, Montenegro, and Bhutan. The Bank of Georgia first hinted at the digital lottery initiative in May of 2021. This is a pilot for such project. The digital lottery's testing phase kicked off in January of this year, and registration for the event closes in the middle of February of 2023. This year, and remember, right, like with a lot of these central banks, yeah, they go all the way back to 2021. Even before the NDAs were signed, I believe that more central banks were on board with Ripple. Unfortunately, we still can't see it. The National Lottery Group, NBG, announced the first phase of this project on April 30, 2021, and invited interested financial technology providers to participate. On February 15 this year, the NBG announced that the deadline for interested fintech companies to express interest in participating in the digital lottery project has been set. It's important to keep in mind that they probably communicated with a dozen different businesses. Ripple was selected as the winner. As you can see, the NBG appears to have reached the stage of selecting a technological partner for the subsequent deployment and pilot of the digital lorry, of which the main 9 were, and these are the 9, right? There was over a dozen plus that were tapped in. This is why I have always said that Ripple has game-changing technology for central banks, especially in this new world of finance that is coming. But for the time being, these 9 people are the lucky ones. And for each of these components, they'll pick the top-tier technology available. In addition to Ripple Labs, some more highly well-known companies are featured here. Although it did not occur to us at the time, XRP was likely one of their primary answers. Ripple is undeniably one of the pioneers in CBC technology. Since their partial victory over the SEC in late June, they have accelerated their efforts significantly in this direction. Here you have discussions with the NBG about how they have chosen Ripple, the leader in enterprise blockchain and crypto solutions, as the official technology partner for its digital lottery pilot project. Since then, Ripple has partnered with multiple CBDCs, developed a further working relation with RMI for an ESG platform, and acquired a major payment or license or institution license from the Monetary Authority of Singapore. Although NBG has only recently begun their own digital lorry trial, they appear to be rapidly expanding their involvement in here. You guys have those names. In terms of the BIS, via the Enbridge and Orem projects related to CBC, and we can see that they will be deploying their test on Ripple's CDC platform. And on the right, mold that you people have the BIS view, PMI. The Payments and Markets Committee is meeting right now. And Ripple is one of the well-known brands we see at the bottom. There are a few other well-known ones. Some of these players, such as MasterCard, are already integrated with Ripple through a significant partner program. However, in September they stated that they will be taking part in projects MCDC and Orem by the BIS, which is where we currently find ourselves. This already fascinating and far-reaching case is further enriched by two connected elements. We also know that Ripple has been closely collaborating with the BIS Innovation Hub in Hong Kong, which is piloting both MCBC and ORM. In fact, the Hong Kong Monetary Authority, HKMA, recently chose Ripple to test tokenizing home equity lines of credit with Open Bank. Both Ripple's MCDC and oral implementations have certain cross-border focuses to varying degrees, and the BIS has just selected Ripple to join the cross-border payments task group. Furthermore, Ripple is well known for its international services and remittances. Perhaps Ripple's connection with NBG developed as a result of its work with the Hong Kong Monetary Authority and the Innovations Hub. This is just another significant achievement for XRP on its path to becoming a dominant force in the global financial system of the future. That's why I say listen, XRP is 100% confirmed to become a major leader in this new world of banking. I've said it before and I'll say it again, if you don't pay attention to what's happening in the financial industry, you'll be losing out on a major shift that will take years to catch up to. And it's probably going to take us to approximately roughly 2030-2040 when this is totally deployed. The naysayers who will say things like, come on, Nick, 1015 years, can shut up. That's not how long it'll be before XRP reaches, $10.20.30.50. What I mean by fully implemented now is that it has been widely adopted. However, this time frame is not necessary. I'm just suggesting that huge shifts will continue to occur for at least the next decade, and that we're already witnessing some of these shifts in the form of smartphones and other technologies. They have been available for over a decade, and several of these businesses have already achieved enormous valuations. As a result, I believe that over the course of the next several years, and perhaps even the next decade, we will see everything come into place, everything shift, and everything move quicker than ever before with regards to CBDCs and this new world of finance. I've always maintained that you should keep an eye on what Ripple is doing because they have their plans in place, and that's all owing to some of these companies like Ripple that are at the forefront of this. The majority of CBDCs and central banks have been in talks with Ripple for quite some time. They are aware of Ripple's progress and are familiar with XRP. And like I mentioned, with a lot of these CBDCs, the case for XRP to become a bridge currency is strengthened by the fact that 93% of central banks are already moving forward on CBDCs. And that's why I always find this very, very bullish and extremely exciting. Of course, there are still worries about a CBC, but it's absurd to assume that, CBDC will never take place. Without centralized banks, cryptocurrencies could flourish, but in order for that to happen, we'd need a totally decentralized financial system. The future won't be like that. That's the number one thing that gets me excited about what Ripple is doing with XRP, because instead of a company saying, hey, we're trying to replace traditional finance, we're trying to, replace it all, and we want a full new system where everyone is in control of everything and this and that. No, they're actually enhancing the traditional world of finance, and that is very exciting. And I think that's why Ripple has been so successful with a lot of these major players in the past and even just recently. And this is also why I think that they're going to continue to be extremely successful going forward on into the future as well. So with that said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe. See you soon, bye.